Running above the streets of Camden is a Victorian railway viaduct, still carrying trains today. But beside the active railway lies a forgotten, overgrown section, hidden in plain sight for decades. Now, there were plans to transform this into London's answer to the New York High Line, but shortly after filming this video, the entire project was suddenly paused. So what was the proposed Camden Highline? Where was it meant to go? And what does it look like today? Welcome to Camden Town, another Highlines of the UK episode.
Yay!
Because we're here today to look at a viaduct with a very ambitious project, but in one of the busiest rail corridors in Britain. Why is this viaduct no longer in use? So Camden Town, what do you think of when you hear the name Camden? What do you think of, John, Camden Town?
Oh, alternative culture, Britpop, happy days when I was a teenager.
Music, markets, canals perhaps. But Camden was once a very important railway district in London. Freight yards, sidings and depots once covered huge areas of Camden as competing railway companies expanded into the capital, and there's still fragments of this woven into Camden's culture. The viaduct that we're following today formed part of the railway's expansion. It was initially opened in 1850 by the East and West India Docks and Birmingham Junction Railway. Now try fitting that company name on your mortgage application form. A parallel route built to handle growing traffic through an increasingly congested corridor was added in 1871, hence the two viaducts side by side. But over time, freight patterns changed and goods yards disappeared. Extra railway capacity became less important. And while one side of this viaduct remains heavily used today by London Overground, the parallel route beside it slowly fell silent in the 1980s, seemingly unwanted, and 30 years later, its future still unclear. So the Camden Highline, let's just explain what that is. So it's a proposal to turn a disused railway viaduct, so a disused railway corridor, shall we say, into a public garden walkway running from Camden Gardens to York Way. So that's about 3/4 of a mile, isn't it? Heading east from the spot that was stood in here, John.
Yeah, heading from the main sort of district of Camden, where the tourists come, and out towards this King Cross area.
Where we're standing here, this is the start of our story that we're going to be telling you today. This is where this High Line is pretty much going to be onboarding onto the top.
Yeah, I assume it's on the other side, because this side is the active railway.
And the disused bit of this railway viaduct is on the other side. You'll probably see trains passing above us as we're making our way along this route today. And we can't walk on there because, like I say, it is an active railway line. We can't walk at the side of the active railway line. When it's all done, they're going to be basically segregating it off. Got some nice plans and graphics.
Yeah, got some images to show you, and what it might well look like.
This is the disused side of the viaduct here.
So basically, where it says 26, that archway, the plan is to have the stairs coming through there, and then I guess up to this part here, which is on the north side of the Camden Road train station, and I guess that's the start of the High Line going out eastwards.
So once the High Line is up there, once it's on this first part of the viaduct, that section is going to be called the Woodland Balcony. And just to the left-hand side here, just out of shot, we'll go up and have a look on the platforms actually, at Camden Road station. Look, there's a tree on top.
Oh yeah, well, they've made progress already. It's quite overgrown though, I think, aren't they, to be honest with you?
Well, you can see if you go past on the train, can't you?
Yeah. It's a really imposing structure. I didn't realise quite how big it would be.
Yeah, it's quite high, isn't it?
It's higher up and it's so deep here.
I mean, what strikes me straight away, John, is the amount of vegetation just coming out the side of the viaduct. You'd think that Network Rail would be wanting to get on top of that regardless.
Yeah, of course.
If it does, it does find itself damaged or beyond repair, it's quite a headache. I don't think Network Rail have actually ruled out reusing this, have they?
Yeah, that's it. It's a possibility.
There's one of the contentious debates about this, because this is quite a bottleneck here, isn't it, for capacity? This is a busy line.
We believe so.
Freight, your intensive overground service.
Yeah, so it's possible that it might make sense to bring it back into use.
So we're on Camden Road station here, look. There's an active railway line. Now our viaduct, our disused viaduct, is on this side.
Yeah, it's so overgrown. I mean, maybe you can stick it over there, but looks like they've cut it back in places. So this is like the first phase of the project, which is sort of split into 3 phases. And I think the first phase is the shortest phase, extending eastwards. So you can see here, there's that little bulbous sort of section there, but then it starts to really come in terms of the width of the available.
Well, there's a bridge there, isn't it, look? Is that over Royal
bridge,
College Street, is it?
So maybe we can see that from beneath in a second.
I was kind of hoping we'd have a bit of views from
Yeah, I knew it was going to be like this, to be honest with you. So there was a platform on this side, wasn't there? So.
Now, only 2 platforms on Camden Road station these days. But if we just bring you around here and show you here, look, there's our disused viaduct on this side, John.
Yeah.
Can you see there, look? You can see there's 2 viaducts crossing Royal College Street here. This building here, 223 Royal College Street. It's a Grade 2 listed building. There's once house the staircase for the former platform 4. You can see, look, this is the disused one, look. Looks like there is still a walkway, a thin access walkway above us there. But other than that, it's just an open girder structure. So this is a crossroads, this is crossing here then, John. Royal College Street.
Oh yeah, it is like a diagonal.
And I can't see the road name for that one. You know, there's quite a few London transport programmes on the telly, isn't there? Like Secrets of London Underground, etc.
Oh yeah.
Quite fascinating, really, because I love all the stuff that's, the phrase again, hidden in plain sight. And all the little bits you find on these stations, John. And look at that. A water fountain, is it?
Seen better days, but it's definitely a water fountain.
Yeah, you're not getting any water from that these days. So that's the end of phase 1.
Yeah.
John, we'll talk about the phases, the different phases that we wanted to reopen this old viaduct. I think they're planning, hopefully, access coming down through the old staircase, through the old entrance.
Oh, are they? Right, an access point there.
Yes.
Which I guess probably might be problematic if it's being used by premises, being used as a commercial premises at the moment. I don't know. Some of it's seen better days. Look at that. You can see it through there.
I wonder what the plan would be to tackle stuff like that, John. Because
well, this is it. That's the investment.
So far, we've seen a lot of decay.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of decay on this section here, isn't there?
So this section from Camden Road, John, phase 2, and this one, Woodland Catwalk. So this segment of the Highlands characterised by 2 open bridges in quick succession. So Randolph Street, and then we'll see in a few moments St Pancras Way.
Yeah.
So St Pancras Way, St Pancras Way Bridge. Same sort of thing, isn't it? Just exposed girders.
A lot of exposed girders. It's quite unusual to have the girders like completely exposed like this and then just take off whatever the platform was. Often we don't often see that. But when they just cleaned it off on that.
Yeah, have they made an effort to do that? Is there a reason? In places, the viaduct now feels less like a railway and more like a forgotten industrial ruin hidden above the streets of Camden. The further east we travel, the more evidence appears of the railway's gradual decline. Redundant sections of the viaduct have been stripped back to their bare steel structure, leaving only the exposed girders that once carried the additional tracks through Camden. Yet beside the overgrown and stripped back route, the neighbouring viaduct remains heavily used, a reminder that this is not an abandoned railway, but part of an evolving Victorian railway corridor still adapting to modern London. Said it yourself, John, very brutalist.
Oh, it's horrible, isn't it?
Modern structure. This is Camden Street. Interesting about this, John. You know, this is a road now. This used to be a railway passing through here. So we've got the Midland Railway, the Midland Main Line. Just we'll show you in a short time. And this was access off that into one of the many yards. So yeah, these were railway bridges. Look, because we've got another one at the side just here.
Oh yeah.
This is, I was looking at this on the Google Street thing, and this has been tidied up quite a lot from there.
It's been tidied up?
It's been tidied up. I mean, yeah, it's maybe consolidated all their junk into one big pile of junk, maybe. And this is going to be one of the access points of the High Line as well. Cards on the table. I can't say this is a particularly pleasant
No, it's not a nice
situation
at this point in time. But maybe, you know, a bit of regeneration, but you can just see all these... Is that van? What's that van?
So from Camden Street, we can take this footpath up here. Look, we can climb up onto this footbridge where we go up to the to run parallel with the High Line. Bizarre, isn't it? Look,
It's really.
gauge.
Oh, maybe it's a suicide hotspot. Oh right, okay.
If you can see through the railings, that's the middle and main line. We came in on here this morning, then, John.
Did we? Good
Yeah,
Lord.
yeah. This is your line into St Pancras.
Right, here we go. So you can't cross it, but how are we going to get the best view yet?
And there is a footpath that takes you to the other side. It's access just over the railway line, basically.
What a dump. Sorry to say it.
Well, you know, we're here to be honest, John.
Yeah, it's true.
We'll be standing there on the High Line then now.
It will be.
So that's it's about the best look that we've actually
Yeah,
had,
you
isn't
can
it?
start to get a feel for it. Obviously, it's so close here to the main line, isn't it?
But just look at these like sketches and things that the project very kindly
Oh yeah, gave us.
gave
Yeah,
us,
yeah.
And we can see, you know, people looking
Walking
at
down,
the,
enjoying it.
Yeah, the passing trains and things. So we are crossing over the Midland Line here. I'd like to be able to show you. Let's see if I can put the camera under this. Over there. This spot illustrates London's layered railway history quite nicely. At the intersection of some of Britain's busiest rail corridors sits a redundant piece of Victorian infrastructure whose future remains uncertain. Should redundant railway infrastructure always be preserved for future rail use, or can projects like the High Line give these spaces a valuable second life? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. In this next section of the High Line then, from here onwards, once we've got over the railway line, this is called the Wilds.
Oh, is it? Phase
Wilds.
3.
Camden Street to York Way. So this is the final part,
Yeah.
isn't it? This is the final part of the High Line that we're coming onto now. Just refer you to the old maps and the amount of sidings and cattle docks and the coal depot for the LNWRs on the site of the Maiden Lane estate. And that's all this on the side here.
It doesn't feel like a High Line start, because some of it is viaducts and then the rest of it is like sort of
Would you
more
walk
level
on it?
pitch. I don't know, because I'd only walk on it to walk back again. I think the first phase would be really cool, because that would be you could do like quite a large pocket park there for the people to spill out of Camden and enjoy that.
So this is York Way. This is going to be, just on our left-hand side here, this wall, is going to be the end of the High Line.
This will be the end, yeah.
This is the end, this is the destination. Now this is the site of the former station, the Maiden Lane station. This wall on the right-hand side here, I'm just careful not to walk in the cycle lane, need eyes in the back of your head round here. This is
So this is an access point
of Maiden Lane station, this wall here from the old station building, look. That's a window up there. You can see this on the old photograph, so this is quite an imposing building back in the day. Now when you look at what's just here, it just looks like a wall, but this is where, if you look at the plans here, where the High Line's going to be coming out here. Spitting you out onto York Way. We cover some of these High Lines, John, and I always like to remain impartial.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a good idea, it's a good project, it's nice to see disused railways being brought back into life. If it can't be a railway, why can't they be?
Well, at the moment it's not achieving any purpose, so...
No. And if it
Why
was
not?
a railway, if it was wanted as a railway, they'd have it as a railway.
Exactly, yeah. There's a
exactly.
massive investment to make that happen, so...
Sat disused for decades,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
It is, but just to play devil's advocate really, a quick internet search just brings up plenty of objections. Its validity, you know, its cost for a start, and the fact that there's already a route from Camden to King's Cross down that way on the canal.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. So and it doesn't really go to King's Cross.
Well, that was going to be my next question. Where is it coming? How close to... Is this area known as King's Cross?
I think it's the north part of it, maybe. Yeah.
But it's not... When I think King's Cross and the station...
Well, exactly,
and,
yeah. That would be like a major destination would be to take you to the station, but it doesn't do that.
A lot of people as well, they're kind of belief it should be turned back into a railway. We said it's a bit of a bottleneck through here. It's a very, very busy line. You know, why have we got a ready-made, I mean, I know it doesn't go that far as a duplicate line, but why is there not that extra capacity through here up to Camden Road?
Yeah, relieve the bottleneck.
When we did the Leeds video, we had a lot of comments on there saying, oh, if it was in London, etc.,
It'd have been built,
done.
investment would have been there. So
This is no further on than the Holbeck. Thanks to all my channel members, anyone who's supported the channel through buying me a coffee, sending me a super thanks, buying merchandise, anything like that. So cheers, John. Thanks for
no worries.
accompanying on this. We'll see how this one pans out.
We'll keep watching it. Definitely vouch out.
In a couple of years' time, we might be back reporting on some
definitely.
progress.
I hope so.
So as we now know, shortly after filming this video, the Camden Highline project was officially paused due to rising costs and a challenging fundraising environment. For now, the future of this forgotten side of Camden's railway remains uncertain. Once built to carry ever-increasing railway traffic through Victorian London, this redundant section of viaduct has outlived the purpose it was originally created for. Yet while trains continue to pass beside it every day, the overgrown route still survives, hidden in plain sight above the streets of Camden. If the Camden Highline never goes ahead, what do you think should happen to this forgotten side of the railway? Let me know in the comments. Whether it one day becomes a highline/public park, returns to railway use, or simply remains untouched, its story is clearly not over yet. Cheers for watching. See you soon.
See you later.
Ta-ra.
Come tend the garden with me. We have so many seeds to sow. When the harvest comes in, it will be time to share what we have grown. We were having the time of our lives when we started. Everything was groovy, but I'm noticing lately we've been half-hearted. West Side Story.